Uh, Very good afternoon to one and all present here. Welcome to the 11th Study Circle meeting of 2025-26. We have a very important topic today on the issues of registration. The endeavor for this study circle was so that in spite of 9 years in GST, we continue to face several issues in registration. Every time they come up with new things for as a requirement, and still we end up getting the registration after a month or so. In spite of when we started, we were getting registrations in 3 and 4 days. So that is why we thought that we'll have this session today. And to address us, we have Sachin Bhai. Sachin Bhai is an all-rounder, and as we know, he's dealt with these issues day in day out. So we thought fit to invite him. So thank you, Sachin Bhai, for accepting our invitation. Couple of announcements before we proceed with the session today. One is yesterday we had a very detailed seminar which was held by the Sales Tax Tribunal Bar Association on the filing of the GST 80. The president also addressed the members there yesterday, and he thought that we should also have a mega guidance for solving the issues which are faced by people filing before GST 80. So tentatively on 23rd it will be held. It will be online. The details for which will be shared shortly. And there is an outstation seminar at Sindhudurg on 27th. So everyone is requested to register for the same. With this, I hand over to Sejal Madam for okay, I hand it over to the President for his opening remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Like I said, this is probably going to be the last study circle meeting of my term. And I thank all the participants who have joined till now. And just like the law of diminishing returns, there are very few participants who have come physically, but there are quite a few who have come online. Now, the reason for doing this is what Umang told us, that right now there are two issues which are plaguing most of them on the compliance side. Returns are by and large stabilized. Registration, you're still from time to time finding issues, as LNR Umang is receiving several queries, which we are either representing, or if there are solutions which we are doing ourselves and we are telling them the solutions. But Sachin Bhai, like I said, that he has an all-round knowledge of registration. The whole idea is that Sachin Bhai will do a small presentation, but it is after the presentation is over, whatever are the issues which are there online, which are for people who are here, please discuss the issues. It is important to discuss the issues. Sometimes there might be some issue which is faced by somebody else, but right now you may not be facing the same. But if you listen to those issues, you will probably in future be helped. And that is why thank you Sachin Bhai for agreeing for this study circle. And with that, I hand over. Happy learning, everyone, and thank you everyone who has come for all these 12 study circle meetings. Thank you.
Now I request Sejal Madam to formally introduce our speaker today.
Our today's speaker needs no introduction. He is our very own member and past president Sachin Gandhi. We are honored to have him here today as our speaker, and on this important topic, who better than him can explain this very well to us. So we welcome you, Sachin Bhai. I would request our president to offer him a memento as a token of appreciation. Now I would request, thank you so much. I would request our chairman Pranobai Kapada to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everybody. Respected President GSTPAM, Shri Badega, all the office bearers on the dais, today's faculty and our past president and our dear friend Sachin Gandhi, the members present over here and the members online. A very good afternoon to all of you. Well, registration is the beginning of the journey under the GST Act, under the GST law for a taxpayer. And we have seen so many hurdles in registration. Well, we do understand that there are so many, fake registrations or fake invoices which are being issued, and hence the government deems it fit that the entry barrier should be strong enough, and there are no issues against that. The entry barrier has to be strong. Not any driver or maid or any servant can have a GST registration certificate. And I think that is what the intention of the government is. But this is causing lots of difficulties to genuine taxpayers, whereby so many different issues and show cause notices are being raised at the time of granting the registration certificate. In spite of the new rule 14A, I suppose. In spite of that, there are issues, and there are issues within that 14A also. I think when Sachin takes up, I'll try to mention about that. What are the difficulties arising in that rule 14A also? But there are several issues, and we really need to understand how to cope up with them, how to be ready with our details and documents of the taxpayers, so that we get a hassle-free registration on the GST portal. And I'm sure Sachin Gandhi, our Mr. Dependable, as Pradeep Bhai has mentioned in our group, our Mr. Dependable, Mr. Sachin Gandhi will be able to, guide us on this topic. And all the best to you, Sachin, and happy learning to all of you. Thank you very much.
Yes. You stop talking. Yes, sir. ये वाला यहाँ पे क्यों नहीं दिखा यहाँ पे नहीं वहाँ पे नहीं दिखा दे रहा उसके नहीं नहीं इधर आना चाहिए नहीं नहीं फुल स्क्रीन कर रहा हूँ लेकिन दिख रहा नहीं है वो नहीं फुल स्क्रीन तो किया मैंने लेकिन यहाँ पे नहीं दिखाई दे रहा है। ये प्रॉब्लम है। जतिन सर फुल स्क्रीन किया लेकिन जूम पे नहीं दिखा।
क्या ना जो ठीक ठीक बस बस चल done that. Yeah, good afternoon to one and all. First of all, I like to thank my own association for giving me this opportunity for sharing my views. And no doubt, I'm very much doing compliance work, but getting into PPT I got first time because I'm thankful to association in both ways because it is because of the AI course I learned to know how to prepare the PowerPoint presentation. And so today the topic is issues under GST. So I'll just run through the basic presentation because I think, as you know, rightly said by Umang, by already 9 years we are into this line of GST practice and compliance. So the basic procedure all are aware. But today the main agenda is to have what are the various issues, what are the issues which are concerning about the GST registration, what are the issues which members are facing. So before we take up issues, or we can have, I think we can have an interactive session. Okay, if anybody is having issues, because I'll just take you first my presentations, okay, what are the governing sections, what are the rules, and what are the main amendments for this one GST registration. So I would just try to divide my lecture into 3-4 folds. Okay, now what is the legal foundation for GST registration? Okay, what are the governing acts, what are the sections, and what are the rules which are governing the procedure of GST registration? So you can see section 22 to section 30. These are the sections which are basically governing all the aspects relating to registration. You can say your amendment to registration, cancellation, your suspension of registration, how to apply for registration, who has to apply for to registration, when is to be applied. So all the governing sections for registration, okay, the people or persons who are liable, a person who is liable to register is will be taken care by the section from 22 to section 30. I think everybody would be aware. I will not take each sections in detail, but I just go through roughly. For section 22 is for a person who is liable for registration. For 23 is the person who are exempt under GST, who are not liable to take any registration under GST Act. Then section 24 speaks about certain persons who are mandatory to take registration irrespective of the turnover. Then 25 speaks about what is the procedure for obtaining the registration. 26 is deemed registration when there is any investigation or any INV has been taken place and the government himself issues the number that is governing by the section 26. Then casual taxpayer and non-residential taxpayer number is governed by the section 27. Then all the amendments to core amendments, amendments to non-core amendments, the governing section is section number 28. Again, suspension of GST registration or cancellation of GST registration, the governing section is 29.
And if my number is being cancelled, and if I want to revoke the cancellation of that number, the section governing for that is section 30. So this is the basically, you can say, this 22 to 30 are the rules, are the sections wherein the details have been mentioned for a registration section. Similarly, as there are 22 to 30 sections, the rules pertaining to the registration, which starts from rule number 8 and it goes up to rule number 26. So for the rule number 8, it is for the application of registration. Rule number 9 speaks about verification and approval procedure. Rule number 9A is grant of registration electronic. This is the rule which has been lately introduced in November 2025. Rule 10 speak about issue of registration certificate. 10 is about the bank account details. 10B speak about Aadhaar authentication. Because if everybody know, okay, now Aadhaar authentication has been made mandatory for taking the GST registration. So which rule? It is through the rule number amendment in rule number 10B. Then 11 speaks about special registration for multiple places. Then 12 is for TDS, TCS. 13 is for non-residential taxpayer. 14 speaks about the online data OIDR supplier. 14A. Again, this is the simplified registration scheme which is introduced from November 2025. For 14A, I think we'll just have a little bit in the in the later part of my session. But on a lighter side, I can say rule number 14A is as appearing in CA exam. The entry to the CA is very easy, but exiting from the CA is very difficult. So same is with the rule number 14A. Once you get into entry, you will definitely get within, say, if you speak, in some cases the number has been issued in 3 to 4 hours also. There have been instances where in 3 to 4 hours the number of the registration GST number has been given. But what are the rules governing to withdrawal? It's very complicated. So rule 14 I will just deal it separately. Then rule 15 speaks about the extension by the casual tax payer and non-residential tax payer who has taken a number for periodic some interval. Rule 16 speaks about suo moto registration. As I inform you, when the department issues during any INV visit or if they have records in hand, so they will issue a suo moto registration. The governing rules are rule number 16. 16A is again temporary identification number. 17 speaks about unique identification number. Now, what do you by unique identification number? It is for the special United Nations and embassies where they are not supposed to file any output liability. But if they wish to avail any refund, then they have to take registration. They will be given an UN number. And even this UN number, apart from United Nations embassies, there are other categories of individual persons. Now, which categories of persons have been issued UN number? Is the individual flat buyer. Suppose I have brought a flat in a registration society which was under construction and I have been charged the GST on that amount. And after a particular time of say 2 or 3 years, if I'm cancelling that flat, and if I want to apply for that registration or a refund for the GST paid, for that I need to apply a GST number. But for that I will be allocated an UN number and not to follow the routine procedure as per the rule number, as per section 25. So UN number is a separate there. If time permits, I'll even take you roughly to the live of the GST website. Okay, what are the applications from where it is to be done? Then Rule 19 speaks about amendment of registration. 20 speaks about application for cancellation. 21 is cancellation in certain cases. Then again 21 is speak about suspension of registration. Now, what do you mean suspension of registration? Again, if you know if I applied for a GST number when my bank details are not yet updated, and if I fail to update my bank details, the number would be suspended. Then 22 speaks about cancellation proceedings of the suspension. Then revocation of cancellation is rule 23. Migration from existing, this was the transitional rule which was when VAT was transferred to GST when there was in the earlier phase. So 24, 25 was a physical verification of business premises and 26 speak about the method of authentication. So these are the rules which are governing the registration. 22 to 30 sections and rule number 8 to rule number 26. These are the governing section and rules for a registration process. Now, this is just a basic, as I told you, there would be some basic information. Now, who and when is to be registered himself? Any taxpayer who has crossed the threshold limit of, say, 40 lakhs, and there are special category states where still the turnover is been mentioned as only 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs or 10 lakhs. So now this threshold limit again 40 lakh is been through notification number 10 of 2019, and this is pertaining only for the goods. Still, if any person who is a service provider, the limit for service provider is as on date 20 lakhs only. There is no increase in turnover, increase in threshold limit for a service provider. So special category rates are Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, and Tripura. Still the turnover limit is up to 20 lakhs. And one has to ensure that the turnover is to be counted on the aggregate turnover basis. Now, what do you mean by aggregate turnover? It will be counted as a pan-India basis, and the aggregate turnover is being excluding of your GST education set, and your RCM liability will not be included in the counting of your aggregate turnover for the registration threshold limit. Now, as I told you, section 23, these are few of the categories who are exempt. One is the agriculturist, who is totally exempt from GST. If any agriculturist, though is providing into goods, but there is no liability for no liability to take a registration under the GST. Now, as I told you, there is again a section 24 which speaks about mandatory registration. Now, who are compulsory mandatory? If I am doing any interstate from Maharashtra to suppose Gujarat, if I am even doing a turnover of 1 rupee, I will be need to take compulsory obtain the GST number. Casual tax payable person and non-residential tax payable person again has to mandatory apply for GST number. A person whose liability is to pay charge under tax under reverse charge mechanism has to obtain a GST number. And e-commerce and TDS and TCA dealers. These are the dealers who are compulsory need to obtain the GST number. Yeah. Okay. So next we'll move to the procedural aspect. Now, what do you mean by procedural aspect? How I'll take you now to a flow. Okay, by what are the procedures, when to apply for GST number and how to apply for GST number. So as I told you, there are few amendments. In few cases, the GST number will be allotted in say 3 to 5 days, and in few instances, it will take minimum 30 days to have a GST number registered. Any dealer to be registered, it will take minimum 30 days also, and there is even cases where in minimum 3 to 5 days it will be given. Okay. Now, what are the main documents which is required? The main important document which is required for obtaining a GST number. This, as of now, we are speaking for an dealer who is an Indian. For non-residents, in spite of valid PAN number, a passport would be required. A valid PAN number. He should have an Indian phone number, valid email address, physical documents in the required format and information, which are there as per instruction that I'll be taking to the later part. Place of business in the state where registration is taught. Authorized signatory who is resident of India with a valid details including PAN number. At least one proprietor, partner, director or trustee should be having a PAN number. Valid digital signature on an Aadhaar in case of e-signature or EVC facilities to be there. And you should know your state and central jurisdiction. So basically, these are the prerequisites. If as a consultant, if we want to apply for a GST number, so we just should ensure before applying that the following documents should be ready in hand for the GST number. So this is just and proof I just shown you. Okay, for the digital paper, for PAN is the master key. Proof of constitution, you need to have MOA, article of association, companies, LLP deed for LN, partnership deed and partnership agreement for the partnership deed, certificate of incorporation wherever applicable. Business address proof, you should have your electricity bill or consent letter. So that I'll also take in detail. I've just analyzed what are the documents and required for the essential business proof which the government is accepting it. And there is authorized protocols. If there is any director who has been authorized or a partner who is a specific partner who is authorized, so you need to have an authorized or letter of authorization governing him to apply for a GST number. So now GST, physical application of GST is divided into two parts, part A and part B. Now what is there in part A? So this is when you log in to the GST portal. You have to go to services tab, registration, and you have to select new registration. On the selection of new registration, this tab will be open. This is known as the part A for registration. It consists of IMA. You have to select either taxpayer, tax deductor, casual taxpayer, what you want, under what category you want to enroll yourself. You need to have that number. Then under which state, on which state you want to have, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, the state you have to select it. Then on the basis of state, the district automatically, suppose if I'm selecting in Maharashtra, then in Maharashtra where I want, in Nashik, Mumbai, Nagpur, so the district is, so the one which is marked in red are mandatory. Then legal name of business, and this should be as per 10, because I have taken for TDS, so it should 10, and there should be also for PAN number. Legal name as per PAN number is also required. A valid email address and valid mobile number. Now, why we are insisting on valid email address and mobile number? Because until and unless the TRN number, after filling this form, a OTP will be sent on both, on email, email number, email as well as on the mobile number. And after successfully verification of that both number and entering the captcha code, and after mentioning the OTP, a temporary reference number will be generated. So these are the basic details which are required for the part A. Now, after getting a successful TRN number, that on the submission of this one necessary part A form, a TRN will be generated, and this TRN will be valid for 15 days only. So a dealer would have a time to upload his application, final application, before 15 days. Once the 15 days is over, the TRN number will automatically be out of the system, and you will need to start again from the scratch. Now, what are the details which are required in part B? Business details, promoters details, that is other partners or directors or an authorized signatory details are required. And if you want to have authorized representative, that also can be added. Principal place of business, additional place of business, your GST, speak about your SSC code and HSN code, state specific information, other authentication and verification. So this is the application which is to be done in the part B. Now, if you compare the application prior to say 2019 and this one, here you will be seeing the bank details is missing, because now there is no need to have a bank detail, because initially what was happening, a bank people was asking for a GST certificate and GST was asking for the bank details. So just to have a smooth for a registration, so now bank details are not mandatory. But once this application is been filed and you have received your GST number, you have to update your bank details. It is either within 30 days or the due date of filing your GSTR1, whichever is earlier. So one has to ensure that after taking once the GST number is allotted, bank detail has to be updated. Until and unless bank details are not updated, you will not be able to file any of your return, or even you will not able to access any of other tabs. So bank details would be mandatory, and the due date for updating bank is either 30 days or it will be due date of the GSTR1, whichever is earlier. So in this tab, if you can see the business detail, promoter is authorized signatory. These are the standard tabs which are from the day one. From say 2017, when we are making application, almost the tabs are, there is no much change in the tab, but there are only few tabs which are being newly introduced. So in the first tab of business, there is a new option of opting for rule number 14A. As per this rule, which has been updated from November 2025, a person whose turnover, whose output liability would be less than 2.5 lakhs in a month, he can only apply under this category. Apart from this, nobody can apply under this category. So now what are again the rules and what are the this one pros and cons in rules, that I will be taking you. So this is the tab. So one has to ensure if he wants to apply under rule 14A category, he has to accept here, and if he doesn't want to accept, then he has to mention it no. By default, it is a no only. And under state specific information, this is the tab. Initially in state specific information, they were only asking for your PTRC and PTEC detail. Now they have added the electric name of the electric unit. It is been added with this tab of state specific information. So which company's electricity you are using, BMC or this one Best or Adani or say Tata Power, you just need to select it and you have to just mention your CA number, which is, this is a mandatory field which you have to compulsory add. Apart from without filing this, you will not able to proceed to your registration details. Again, PTEC license number and PTRC is again a field which are required, but once you apply without mentioning this, you will get 110% of notice ke bhai you have not applied for PT number. You have to just need to reply ke once the number is allotted, I'll apply for PTC number. Because if my number is not been allotted due to any other reason and only taking PTC number is of no use, so you have to just reply to that notice on the granting of GST number, we shall be applying, and that is definitely taken by each and every officer. And this is again a new tab, Aadhaar authentication. So this is applicable for everybody for Aadhaar authentication. So these are the details which once you are uploading all the documents and you need to verify your data for Aadhaar authentication. Now here I'll just tell that even there is an instruction number 3 that also I'll just take you. Instruction number 3 of 2025. Which they are clearly mentioned. It is dated April 17th, April 2025, where a detailed procedure of what are the documents required, what are the rules, what the officer has to do has been clearly mentioned in the instruction 3 of 2025. So once your Aadhaar application, Aadhaar has been authenticated, and after verification, you just need to submit your application. And after successful submission of application, an ARN will be generated. Now here again there is a catch. Okay, it's not that if I'm Aadhaar verified the application, I'll be getting immediately my Aadhaar number. No, that is not the case. Again, there are the list by this one DGRM, risky dealers, or we can say dealers who need to have more detailed analysis of the particular thing has to be done. So that list has been shared to all the officers. So they will see if your category is under risky dealer. Despite of your Aadhaar authentication, you will be called upon to submit all the original documents at the GST Suvidha Kendra, GSK. So after GST Suvidha Kendra, you have to go there, visit there, have your photograph done, show them all the original, and after that only ARN will be generated. So if you are falling under a category where more analysis or more data is required, the application will be ARN will be generated only after your visit to GST Seva Kendra. And if the PAN number is not under the risky dealer list, you will be immediately given the ARN number. So basically, this is the flow of the entire process of a GST number. Applicant, as I informed, applicant need to have an email and a mobile number. He has to fill in part A. After filling the part A, a temporary reference number will be generated, which is valid for 15 days. This he can retrieve his data up to 15 days. So he has to need entire part B within 50 days, and he has to submit it. After successfully submitting of part B, an ARN will be generated. As I inform you, again ARN will be subjective. If Aadhaar authentication is there and Aadhaar is not under risky category, ARN will be immediately generated. And if it is under any risky category, it will be only generated after a visit to the GST Seva Kendra. Here, one has to ensure that your PAN number should match with your, the application should match with your PAN number. If any delay, this will be there, again there would be an application will not be processed. So after successfully generation of ARN, that ARN application will go with the tax official. Now tax official has to ensure that within 3 working days, either raise a query or approve the registration number. So if all the documents are in place and if everything is going smoothly and if the officer is satisfied, he shall approve the GST number. On approval, again on the registered email ID and mobile number, a GST temporary ID password will be forwarded. You need to log into GST portal, ensure you can enter your correct detail, and you are a registered dealer. Now, if there is any queries is been raised, so that queries is to be compulsory responded within 7 days by the applicant. He has to either respond it, and suppose if he is not responding within 7 days, the data of approval will be automatically not able will be screen will be removed from the officer desk and the application will be compulsory rejected. Now after completion of, if I have complied with all the data within 7 days, again official will be have either approve it And if it is approving it, again our temporary user ID and password registration certificate is gone on the email ID, and you have to just log in. And suppose it is, if he is rejecting it, then he will be giving you the rejection order. And again the rejection order will be communicated through email ID and OTP. So this is the entire process of the GST registration. No, you are not being allotted this one. So now we'll just go further. Okay, now there are some few types of special scenarios, okay, where the standard procedures are there. So these are for regular versus composition dealer. I'll not go into deep into this, okay, who can apply under composition and who cannot apply under composition, because again a dealer whose turnover is less wants to have opt for composition, he has to select at the time of filing Part B only. Again, I shall do UN is for embassies or the GST number who wants to take a refund. For UN number is there. Again, a separate application is to be done for IIG number. If I am applying for a taxpayer, there would be a separate registration, and if I want to apply for an IIG number, it should be a separate application. In single application, both is not possible. So now, as I told, what is the main aim for today's topic? It is practical issues and professional challenges while making the GST application. Now, basically, 80% of the cases the notice have been received is on the basis of address proof discrepancy, promoter ID mismatch, and description normal. What is the business description? It's a general trader. So in some instances, the department is asking for additional details. Now here I would like to inform, okay, now there are many cases, practical cases. What happens, okay, while applying for GST, while filing the Part A, we are mentioning email ID and mobile number of many times of a consultant or many of times of other number. So it is required, if it is possible, as far as I mentioned the number which is there on your Aadhaar card. Because nowadays the department are raising a practical query that the mobile number mentioned in Aadhaar card and mobile number given in the application are different. So it is advisable to have your mobile number given registered at the time of filing Part A, the same it should sync with your Aadhaar card number. It is advisable, not mandatory, but it is advisable. Multi-place transfers is there, amendment. So dealing with suo motu registration, again this suo motu, as I told you, this is the registration which is been given by the department. After verification or after investigation, the department himself will issue a GST number, you are liable. Again, this has and its pros and its merit and demerit. If you are not satisfied with the number allotted, you can definitely challenge the registration issued by the GST officer. Then multi-place business complexity are there for separate GST number for each and every state. If I am registered in multiple states, it is mandatory for me to register in each and every state where I am doing the business is being carried out. So each and every place will be regarded as a distinct person, and the turnover between my one state to another state will be covered under GST, and it will be chargeable to tax. Then again, transfer of business, there will be transfer is liability. Section 85 and 86 will be dealing even if I have acquired any business, if there is any merger, demerger is there. So the transferee would be equally liable for any dues from the date of transfer. Then ITC is to be continued. If there is any transfer, you need to file your ITC 02 for transferring of your input tax credit. Then if there is change in constitution or what are the key documents required, again, key documents would be, if it's a transfer, it would be, say, sale, merger, NCLT order, that would be required. Amendment and cancellation. For filing of amendment, submit, you have to submit in RAG 14 and 16 is there. Official will review your application. After review, it will issue an approval order or it will be issuing an rejection order. Now here again, there are two types of amendment. One is core amendment and one is non-core amendment. Core amendment is change in name, change in principal place of business, or any additional or deletion of partners. This core amendment will require the approval of the officer. So if you are applying for a core amendment, the application will go to the officer. He will verify it. If he is satisfied, he'll accept it. And if he is not verified, he'll give you a clarity. He'll issue a notice. You have to reply it. And after verification only, the amendment would be approved. And for non-core amendment, which is say about your bank details, your HSN details, it is just an informative. For non-core amendment, there is no approval needed. So once the application is done under non-core field, it will be auto-approved within 24 hours. Then again, there is a voluntary cancellation and other is revocation of cancellation. Suppose if officer has been cancelled by number, I can apply for revocation. This is just a basic slide. I think we'll just give more for the question answers. So these are the basic question answers, which is not much, but this is from day to day. Suppose RKB Private Limited is paying sitting fees to its director for services rendered by them under reverse charge. Will it form the part of aggregate turnover? The answer is no. Okay, for reverse charge, the aggregate, it will not form the part of aggregate turnover. And again, Jethalal of Ajay managing intrastate supply of shoes. His aggregate turnover in current financial year is 22 lakhs. And is he liable to get registered? The answer again is no, because even now Assam has been notified under 19 of 2020. 2019. So Assam earlier was under a special category. Now he's been removed from a special category and the turnover is up to 40 lakhs. Then again, a Jetala Manipul is actually engaged in interest supply of shoes. His aggregate turnover in current financial is 22 lakh. Is he liable? Here the answer is yes, because Manipur is falling under a special category and the threshold limit for Manipur is 20 lakhs. Now this is issue by if a person is engaged in supply of taxable goods in Maharashtra and is also supplying exempted goods, say alcoholic consumption in other state or even in Maharashtra, then what will be his turnover in current financial year 34 lakhs in Maharashtra and 8 lakhs in Nagaland. Here the aggregate turnover is including of your taxable turnover plus exempt turnover. So though it is in this is human consumption. Human consumption, I think, are covered. That IMFL is not under this. So again, he is be crossing that. Any legal exempted. Okay, non-GST. Even I think account because the aggregate turnover specifies even the non-taxable, non-GST. Exempt includes non-GST, so that would be including. So even if the turnover is 34 plus 8, 42, he will be liable to register in both the state. Because for taxable turnover, it is already there, and for exempt turnover, it includes non-GST supply also. Definition includes. And he has to register, despite of his turnover is not in a particular state, he has to register in both the state. Now, this is the practical issues. The private limited has registered of in Tamil Nadu. He has obtained GST number after getting verification, other authentication in Tamil Nadu itself. Now he's applying in Maharashtra state. And again, the case has been selected for physical verification. So, can the principal authorized person be called in Maharashtra for the physical verification? Yes, in home state, exactly. So now the answer is no, is not there. When you are even this one, Umang, here it is there. Okay, suppose one Aadhaar authentication is done in one state. For that person, I am not to do, not do. Only I have to go and submit my original documents at the respective office. So this was he is already in Aadhaar authenticated, and now this question is which what Umang is saying. Okay, bhai, I have already a GST number. There I have already applied. Now I am applying GST number in Maharashtra. My Aadhaar authentication is not done. So still I will be called upon in the Maharashtra state. Answer is no. I can opt to have Aadhaar authentication in my home state only. So I can have Aadhaar authentication at Tamil Nadu itself, but no, means now if you are off late, if you are filing from last 2-3 months, after receiving a mail, you have an option to select where you want to do Aadhaar authentication. There you have to select your home state. So now this is the instruction number 3 of 2025. This is the main master sheet. I think if anybody is applying for GST number, I think he should carefully go through this instruction number 3. It speaks about each and everything in detail. And the instructions given are very crystal clear. Okay, what officer has to do and what officer has not to do. Here clearly mentioned that if a person who will go by one, okay, after that the document which is there for owned premises. For own, if I'm applying for a number with my own premises, now what is documents are required? I will require either property tax bill, electricity bill, a khata pauti or water bill. If this is been provided, that's enough for my place of business. Only one document is enough for my place of business for the ownership documents. So apart from that, officer cannot ask for any additional documents. Then we go to the rented premises. Now again in rented premises, there are two categories. A registered leave license agreement and an unregistered leave license agreement. Now what happens if I'm applying for a GST number for a rented premises? The officer is asking, you just give me the Aadhaar and PAN number, Aadhaar number or PAN number of the landlord or of the lessor. Can he ask? If it is a registered agreement, the answer is no. But if it is a unregistered agreement, definitely he can ask for it. So for rented premises, again, a rent agreement is required and one ownership proof of the lessor is required. Rent agreement plus property tax, PAN, Aadhaar, photograph of the lessor. Ease of compliance, do not seek any unnecessary documents. Again, unregistered agreements, I told you, because the registered agreement will already have the verification done at registration. So for unregistered rent agreement, the lessor's documentation would be mandatory. Now, if it is a consent premises, suppose if I'm doing place of business from my father's place, suppose my father has to give me a consent, then what are the documents required? It will be a consent letter is required, the photo ID of a consenter is required, and then ownership proofs are required. So for this here, you need to have 3 documents: a consent letter, the ID of the consenter. Suppose I just need to apply, if I'm applying at my father's place, I just need to upload any one ID of my father, say Aadhaar card or PAN card. Preferred is PAN card because the PAN card carries a signature and that signature can be verified by the officer from the consent letter. And one ownership proof is to be attached with these documents. Apart from this, no other documents can be asked for the. That is, madam, another is coming. But as per law, as per instruction, it is clear cut no. As per instruction. Now it's up to you. You need to fight this one with department. I'll just even show this one. Suppose if apart from any instructions which is laid in 3, if he wants additional documents which he wants, he needs to have his approval of the senior. Deputy Commissioner or Joint Commissioner approval is required. Why you are asking additional document from that? And this is instruction number 3. And instruction number 4 of immediately after this, it is very clearly saying if you are not happy or if you are not satisfied with the officer, you can give a complaint in writing to the his subordinate, and action will be taken. So it is clearly cut mentioned in both the instruction sheets.
Sir, I have one sincere query in my own case. One of SSC in the service industry, who basically software engineer who provide export service to the America. So generally it is more than 20 lakhs. So he applied for the GST registration. So the officer has denied, saying that you cannot get a registration on the premises of the residential property. So as far as the goods is concerned, okay, we need a gumasta, that is okay. But there is no specified mention ki for service you need a commercial. So in spite of it is a third attempt has been. So we went to into appeal. So what is the procedure, right?
See, basically, see, for service, they are means normally if you go and proper give an explanation while submitting a clarification, see what happens sometimes, we just give KBT service is not required. You just need to apply in your clarification what type of services you are given. Okay, basically, even see for residential also, what is the law? If you ask me, Balram, okay, for services, residential premises only exempted if you are not having an employee. If if I'm doing a business from my own resident, and if I'm having a 6 to 7 employees, and as per BMC rule, it is not allowed. Services from residential is only allowed if I'm having no employees. This is as per the BMC rule. So what happens if you have to just inform them that there is no salaries, there is no salary employee being employed, and as per the BMC rule, there is no requirement of amendment, because now sometimes they insist by what is why you are taking number, because even there are instances for goods people are taking, chemical business are doing from this one registration. So just to curb this one non-genuine dealers, it is there, but everybody is not non-genuine.
Thank you, sir.
The main problem is coming into the shared premises agreement. We work. The biggest problem, biggest challenge means officers are reluctant to give number. Okay, why should I give number? Means even if you'll fight, but end of the day, sir, I'm rejecting your number. You go and appeal and take. I don't want to take number. I don't want to take risk. But this is really very rare, because apart initially when in Bombay we were having WeWork. Now shared spaces are many places. Even in Masjid Bandar, there are table space who are given for obtaining GST number. So there should be, I think, proper documentation should be there. So even it is there, shared places are without agreement. A consent route is available. Consent letter plus ID plus ownership.
Sachin bhai, I will tell you, the shared spaces. Shared spaces may in one of our clients which I was dealing, it was in Bangalore. Now in Bangalore, what happens? No, there are a lot of bungalows which are there. The bungalows are converted into shared spaces.
Yes.
Then he said, अगर WeWork के ऐसा कुछ होता तो ठीक है, but bungalow में नहीं है.
Even shared spaces, even again the problem is for the warehouses. What happens when we are applying for additional place also, na, they are creating an issues over there. Because what happened, I am not hiring the whole warehouse, but I am just using a part warehousing. For that,
it's a very common practice.
Common practice
in everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, Sachin bhai, with regards to same, most of the e-commerce industry, if you see it now, there are only 100 square feet where only 6 sets are available. But if you see the number of registration more than 100, so they wanted to, where is your place? There is no strict place. People sit today. You said share. So आज इधर बैठते कल there is no place or even person. Even in spite of it is a goods deal. Basically क्या होता है Amazon में वो फैक्ट्री से भिवंडी से माल जाता है ऐसे बिलिंग के लिए एड्रेस के लिए वो प्रूफ होता है तो बेसिकली उधर मतलब जनरली मतलब वो आइडेंटिफाई नहीं होता कि विच इज द प्लेस वहां पे.
देखो इसमें क्या होता है बलराम जी, योर क्वेरी इज लिटिल बिट डिफरेंट. व्हाट हैपेंड, जैसे अमेज़न हो गया, दे आर हैविंग देयर ओन वेयरहाउसेस.
वो सप्लाई के लिए, बट ऑफिस बिलिंग करने के लिए वो मैंने प्रीमाइसेस से जो वी वर्क से लिया ना उस पे कोई स्पेसिफिक बोर्ड ही नहीं रहता कि
बट व्हाट हैपेंस सर, इफ यू आर डूइंग अ वी वर्क, सपोज इफ यू आर डूइंग इनटू सपोज अ केमिकल ट्रेड, आपने वी वर्क में जगह ले भी लिया, बट एट द सेम टाइम यू शुड इट शुड बी अकम्पनीड विद योर एडिशनल प्लेस ना. आप एडिशनल प्लेस में नहीं डालते और बोल रहे हो कि आई एम गोइंग टू डू अ बिजनेस, तो इट इज जस्ट अ सस्पिशियस. इट इज नॉट देयर कि भाई यू आर 100% सस्पिशियस, बट दिस डाउट्स आर गेटिंग क्रिएटेड. यस प्रतिभा.
Like even the transporter, he keeps your goods basically.
Yes, sir.
So that is, see, now they are on the contrary, the department is insisting that this becomes your additional place.
Yes, sir.
And you have to take the number, and he's charging me a penalty of 50,000 rupees.
Yes, sir. Because what happened, for transporter also, if you're storing the goods there.
No, it's not storing. Actually, see what happens. It's like a running this thing. My goods comes and he then delivers. It's not that it is kept there for a long time. It is like when I have to, my regular supplies are there. So that goes there, and then from there it goes to that.
That only,
dealer.
Pradeep, only the question is, okay, suppose if I'm storing the goods, then it is my mandatory to have that number. But if it is only in the course of my transportation, then no registration number is needed. No, then for that they means it's not required. No.
Pradeep bhai, the issue is this: what we see with lot of our members. Now, what happens is that somebody's business is going well, their warehouses are full. What they do is, अभी सर मेरा warehouse full था ना, तो मैंने 2 दिन, this had actually happened. उसने 2 दिन के लिए ना उसे दूसरे warehouse में रखा. Goods are there in the part of his stock register, everything. Okay. उसका नसीब ऐसा था कि तभी का तभी investigation आया उसके ऊपर. For not having an additional place of business, उसको लेके it became a huge headache.
Huge headache. Correct.
But if you are actually storing, the point is, yeah, then you have to.
Then too, for shared premises, it is always as per the instruction. You just need to have a consent is also required. Plus, we work. There is an agreement between a we work or the shared agreement is to be there, and plus the ownership proof. Okay, why we work has taken from third party, because what happened? We work himself is not having his own premises. Yes. And again, if there is no rent agreement or if there is no consent, then through affidavit also, it is been mentioned that you can submit an affidavit. Okay, but here the place of business is there, and you can definitely apply for registration. And again, for
Sachin bhai, just clarify this. This also a lot of people will have, and this when we had gone to meet the of commissioner also, and as per law also. See what happens is most of these people who are taking leave-in license, for 11 months. They think that registration is not required at all.
Yes.
As per law under Maharashtra Stamp Act, any leave-in license agreement also has to be registered, and that is why वो बोलते हैं कि हमको registration का जरूरत नहीं है. They don't register, and that is why they don't get it. So the point is you have to register.
Yeah. But I think
What about
only up to 11 months as per Stamp Act. For 11 months also not required, if I'm not wrong.
No, but
Apart more than 11 months, it is mandatory registration. Below 11 months, it is not required. So
but they do notary then. With
That
the
is fine.
notarized then.
It is not. See what happens if you are entering into a leave license agreement, and if it is unregistered, you have to ensure that you have to submit the lesser details also along with your PAN number. The details of the lesser, his PAN number, his Aadhaar card has to be submitted, and your leave license agreement. Suppose now, see, basically leave license agreement also there are two parts. A people is having it for residential use and is obtaining GST number. That is again a separate challenge. But for a business premises itself, if it's an 11-month agreement, you can have a notarized agreement. You have to submit the document of the lesser's Aadhaar card and PAN card along with the application. And plus his one ownership document, say electric bill of maintenance, he is the owner of that premises. That will suffice.
They want that registration number also specifically written separately.
Yeah, but if it's not registered, then where you provide it?
No, if it's a registered one, then also.
Well, then you will get very easily.
That
If
you
you
can
register,
easily
how
get.
do you get मतलब registration?
Immediately.
Not even stamped or anything.
Yeah.
चिट्ठी आता है, एक चालान आता है.
That's what they
एक
want.
चालान आता है.
Everything they remove that query as well.
No, basically, see what happened. See, I'll be very, very frank. Clear. देना पड़ेगा. And what happened ना madam? What happens? If I am applying for a registration, बराबर है? Officer is already overburdened. What happened? He has to take action within 3 days. So just to follow that timeline, he is removing in few instances, he is removing the notices. I'll be very frank. It is not there that he wants to remove it, but just to maintain that 3 days time gap, he is removing notice. Then you just submit it and it will be processed normally. But just to maintain that 3 days, because what happens if suppose no action is taken up to 7 days, the number will be auto approved. So just to ensure that there is no this type of registration done, so they are removing queries. But in many cases, the queries are very genuine. But at the same time, if there is the queries which have been removed, and if you are submitting it properly, definitely within 7 days you are getting your GST number. But to be very frank, all the members should go through this instruction number 3. It is very crystal clear. I mean, there is no ambiguity in this instruction. Either it is yes or it is no.
Many of the registration has been, given so caution notice that profession tax bin is registration in Maharashtra, but in central people are not giving. So if you see there is no instruction given in the profession tax is mandatory.
See, profession tax, and it is
indirectly.
Basically, when you are applying for Balram, when you are applying for GST number for the first time, they'll give because profession tax their own baby, so they want revenue from it. So they will ask for profession tax number, but you can definitely submit them. Okay, once the number is approved, I'll take a profession tax number. They'll approve it because what happened? Even under profession tax, when you are liable, so under what category will take the PT number?
सर इसमें क्या है ना, आई डोंट नो कि वो मेरा सेंट्रल में जाएगा स्टेट में जाएगा, सेंट्रल में आया तो मैं तो नहीं लूंगा, मतलब मैं ऐसे बोल रहा हूँ, मतलब स्टेट में
that's okay, but that is okay. It's not about center or state, but see, after registration also PT number you have to take as per PT Act.
बट कोई क्या होता है ना, अभी जैसे प्रवीण शिंदे सर का ही हुआ, बीच में साइट ही नहीं चल रहा था, तो प्रोफेशन का साइट नहीं चल रहा है, उसकी वजह से जब तक रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं करो मेरा जीएसटी भी अटक रहा है, ये हो रहा था.
Agreed, Balram. I'm just telling you that only. कि see, PT at the time of GST number is not mandatory. वो आपको notice भेजेगा. He will ask कि भाई PTEC number आप ले लो. You just need to apply कि once the number is allotted, I'll take the PTEC number. Every officer are accepting it and they are issuing the number. They are not insisting कि you first take and then only I'll give you this number. Until and unless if it is a limited company and the limited company is from say 2008 or 2009 registered in Bombay, then they might insist. But in normal for a proprietary concern, partnership concern, new concern, they are not making so much emphasis on profession tax.
Anyways, I think this PT is not applicable to all the states.
Exactly.
Secondly, in some states, the PT is managed by the local BMC, like
BMC.
municipal. So so that is why Chennai mein Kerala is having is local municipality who is managing this PT. So I think so that is why they are not mentioned in this instruction.
Yes.
But state specific, I don't know whether this.
This is not basically. This is a pure center. It's, I think for a pan India only pronoun.
Pan India only.
Yes. No.
So, what is the experience when there is a consent letter?
Yes.
Under consent letter between non-relatives, they are accepted.
Yes. But make sure, see, Ashish bhai, one thing is very clear. They want in consent letter, they want 3 documents. One is a consent letter. The other is ownership proof of the consenter. And third is ID of the consenter. You have to give. See, you cannot say, I am giving ownership, I will not give this. It is mandatory. I mean, mandatory, but it is clear cut. When your consent is there, you have to provide these 3 documents. Because until and unless, if I am giving you consent, and I see electric bill, even on sad part, it is there. Even few times what happens, look, people are adding the PDF and uploading to get the number. But now, if each and every officer will log into the respective portal of the electricity, they will verify the name, and after verification only they will issue it. So consumer number is mandatory. Now only one catch in consumer number is what happened. Okay, sometimes I think in BST or in Tata, the consumer number is 10 digits. And the star. And here they are only asking 9 digits. So before of that, there is a little thing is there. So that is only because 9 digit is mandatory for a consumer number. And in BHT's first number is asking star. So that is creating little. So what we are doing, we insert 0. So he's telling it is not matching.
Yeah. And one more online question is there. In case of joint ownership, premises to be used by proprietor, whether consent from co-owner is required.
Yes. Then these are the very simple for SEZ units. SEZ approval is also required along with the the ownership document. For partnership deed, again, partnership deed is sufficient. And again, what she has already mentioned, document not to be sought. Udyam Aadhar, it is not mandatory. Once partnership deed is there and ownership documents are there, then it is more than enough. Again, for trust, society registration certificate and ownership documents are there. So basically, this instruction number 3 is very crystal clear. If you are applying as per the direction of this instruction number 3, the chances of rejections are very, very less. Now, what is again, it is a scrutiny of document, verify complete. All the documents should be uploaded. Documents, not 11 documents, not to be asked for it. And for better clarity is there. As I already told you, in this also there is a clear-cut instruction in the instruction sheet. If apart from this instruction, if officer wants any additional document, he need to take the approval of his superior. Deputy Commissioner, Joint Commissioner, approval is mandatory. Then only he can ask for additional documents. Means technically I have not come across that, because what happens for proprietary concern, for partnership, it is not so. Because अगर आप LLP करोगे, आप लिमिटेड करोगे, तो ऑटोमेटिकली आपको ROC नहीं देगा, Reliance देगा ही नहीं. Apart from proprietor, definitely you can go through it.
Sachin bhai, some people have raised their hand.
Yeah.
You want us to take now, or you?
Yeah,
want
we can
to
take now. Because this is basically what happened. Instruction 3, many queries related to instruction 3.
Okay. So जिन्होंने raise hand किया है, उनको allow कर दो. Sunil Gosrani, our past president, wants to ask.
Yeah, until then, I'll just take this question. In any case, the two proofs, one online question. In any case, the two proofs have different PIN codes for same address. The electricity mentions old PIN code on the bill, whereas the society and the other documents are reflecting new PIN code. The electricity department is not changing the PIN code. What is the solution for this?
I think, see, this is a very rare question, because if the PIN code is changed, then definitely electricity will automatically change. You need to make an application for the electricity, because on the new PIN code.
What we are doing is we are giving a declaration that this is the actual number and it is signed by the proprietor or a partner as an additional, that this is the issue. Or that is a supporting which we can give, that proprietor and partner signs on that.
No, but his question is that electricity is a separate PIN code. And
some in Bombay, old Bombay, some PIN codes are mentioned in electricity.
But I think if existing there is new PIN code, then definitely that should be incorporated by electricity.
But
the electricity is not.
It takes time, say 1 month, it takes time. But if you don't want to wait, then we are doing this.
Yes, then definitely you can definitely give an affidavit is fine for that.
Okay. Meanwhile,
yes, you can. Mr. Sujay, you can talk. Sujay ji.
Hi. Sachin bhai, one query. If a dealer's registration, if a dealer has defaulted in one state, can the officer deny registration in another state?
Yes. At least, even he will issue a show cause why he is not been. See, even I can just left out one point. Okay, if any instruction or any rejection or there, a compulsory show cause notice is mandatory. That is also mentioned in this instruction. Just merely rejecting it, there is no. It has to be with before a show cause only.
So we'll have to regularize and then apply.
Yes. Because even this will be there for Sujay, for companies or even for proprietor. If one proprietor, even there are instances one proprietor's number has been cancelled suo moto, and after 1 or 2 years is applying for it, then again they will raise a query why the number was cancelled suo moto and why you are applying. For that also you need to give a justification.
Okay.
For voluntary cancellation, there is no needed, but for suo moto when suo moto is cancelled, when he has not filed his return for 6 months or whatsoever reason, so he's already a defaulter previously, then again to reissue it is a difficult.
Thank you.
Okay.
And then there is one more. Whether any impact of the TRN generated on GST number application in Maharashtra?
Any?
Impact of TRN generated.
The TRN is a normal, it's a temporary reference number which will stay for 15 days on the portal.
There's one more. My client. नहीं, cancellation वाला. Cancellation will take later.
So no, we can. Okay, fine. So we'll just move forward.
A casual taxable person. Like what are the procedure and
You have to apply 5 days before for a casual taxable person.
yeah.
Application is to be done minimum 5 days prior, and you have to just submit an application and you have to submit the deposit amount. How much turnover you are going to take it. You have to first make the payment and then only you will be given a number under casual taxable person. And I think that number is also valid only for 6 months. 3 months,
3 months.
90 days. 3 months is there and 3 month extension is
And
plus
then
3 months
again,
would be extended maximum.
And what is the deposit, minimum deposit amount?
See, it is self there. Means you have to inform them that I am expecting a turnover of say 10 lakh rupees. So my output liability would be say 1,80,000 on that. So basically, see, initially even if you say my turnover is going to be 1 lakh and if I'm paying only 8,000 or 18,000, they will accept it because it is just an estimation. You are not sure because what will happen if I am paying more tax and again taking a refund would be a separate challenge. Sir, देखो, what happened ना?
What are the documents required? What are the documents required for casual? What
Sorry?
are the documents required for?
Documents are same. Now, casual would be only in 2 categories. Which is coming here for exhibition.
Yeah.
Or if or casual would be for suppose he's coming here for say 3-month job, 2-month job, 3-month job, 2-month job. For that he would be taking a casual number.
सचिन भाई,
हाँ सर.
अभी रजिस्ट्रेशन के टाइम पे 2 कैटेगरीज है, रिक्वायर्ड विजिट और नॉट रिक्वायर्ड टू विजिट. वो आईटीसी लेस देन 2,50,000 आई थिंक क्राइटेरिया है.
नहीं सुनो प्रवीण भाई सी आई जस्ट मेक के आई जस्ट इन्फॉर्म फर्स्ट के जो नंबर आप 14A में लेते हो रूल 14A, तो वहां पे आपको 3 आवर्स में नंबर मिल जाएगा. नंबर मिलना बहुत इजी है, बाहर निकलना इट इज अ वेरी बिग टास्क. और व्हाट हैपेंस के जो इवन देयर आर इंस्टेंसेस के व्हाट हैपेंड के डिजीग्राम जो डिजिटल द सेंट्रल हैज given a list of numbers के who are considered as a risky dealers. तो जो भी रिस्की डीलर्स का पैन आधार है कि बिकॉज द डेटा इज बीन शेयर बाय इनकम टैक्स, डेटा इज बीन शेयर बाय अदर के जिनका वो सिविल से भी डेटा शेयर है कि ही इज अ डिफॉल्टर, और उसके पैन नंबर पे इफ यू आर अप्लाइंग इट ऑन दैट आधार, इफ यू आर अप्लाइंग इट, आपका आधार वेरिफिकेशन हो जाएगा, पैन वेरिफिकेशन भी हो जाएगा. देन ऑल्सो व्हाट विल हैपन, ARN विल नॉट बी जनरेटेड इवन आफ्टर वेरिफिकेशन ऑफ पैन एंड आधार. आपको जीएसटी केंद्र में वो लोग बुलाएंगे, दे विल वेरीफाई, दे विल टेक योर फोटोग्राफ विल बी टेकन, आपके ओरिजिनल डॉक्यूमेंट वेरीफाई करेंगे एंड आफ्टर दैट ओनली आपको ARN नंबर देंगे. So if you are falling under category of a risky dealer or for flagged, we cannot say a risky dealer, but it is a flagged. तो वो जो जितने भी पैन एंड आधार आर फ्लैग्ड है वो सबके को कंपलसरी जीएसटी सेवा केंद्र में जाके डॉक्यूमेंट सबमिट करना पड़ेगा. एंड आफ्टर दैट ओनली ARN विल बी जनरेटेड, एंड वंस द ARN जनरेटेड इट विल बी गोइंग फॉर द प्रोसेसिंग ऑफ द जीएसटी नंबर. हाँ हाँ.
Why the question after this will be the question if you wanted to take that 14A coming out of 14A, maybe just take that and then
done.
Just take that, then we'll only have questions.
So basically 14A. Now 14A is, as everybody knows, it has been introduced from November 2025. We can say it is a तत्काल scheme. आपने number apply करो, शाम को number मिल जाएगा. So obtaining number is very easy. Now coming out of it. Now what are the rules coming out of it? So 14A में there are 14A 5 speak about the coming out of it. Suppose if I have taken number in November 2025, I have to compulsory stay for 3 months under 14A category. Even if my turnover is increased, कि मेरा बढ़ भी जाता है, I have no choice. So for that 14A, for 3 months I have to mandatory stay in that number. And after the completion of 3 months, I have to file a form in REG 32. REG 32 में मुझे फॉर्म भरना है. After the filing of that REG 32, officer will verify it. he will take again the entire process of a new number. आपका पूरा वो process देखेगा, what is the thing you done. So after proper verification, he will accept your application कि okay, you can move out of this scheme. Now again the biggest catch is, what is the biggest catch, कि अगर मैंने 1 जुलाई को withdrawal के लिए अप्लाई किया है, the withdrawal will be only effective from 1 August. Yeah. नहीं, 3 means your turnover आपने एग्जिट कर दिया है, बिकॉज सी बेसिकली सी अजय, व्हाट इज द मेन क्रक्स ऑफ क्या है कि भाई बिफोर एंटरिंग इनटू बिग टर्नओवर आपको ये क्लियर करना है. आप टर्नओवर करने के बाद बोलोगे मुझे भी जाना है, देन इट इज नॉट अलाउड. इट इज नॉट अलाउड. टर्न मीन्स 2,50,000 मंथली, तो उससे क्या लेना देना है. तो आप टर्नओवर कुछ भी करो, आप सी योर आईटीसी शुड नॉट बी मोर देन 2,50,000 विच इज टू बी पार्ट. B2B 2,50,000 फॉर. सर क्या होता है, एक सिंपल है कि छोटे लोग हैं जिनको पीपल आर टेलिंग के हमको जीएसटी नंबर लेना है, बहुत तकलीफ है, तो वो हिसाब से दे आर जस्ट गिविंग फॉर अ स्मॉल डीलर. इट इज बेसिकली ओनली फॉर अ स्मॉल डीलर. बट व्हाट हैपन कि स्मॉल डीलर ऑल्सो इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट कि माई टर्नओवर इज भले 50 lakhs इन ईयर, बट एक महीने में अगर 15 लाख हो जाता है, अगेन आई विल बी आउट ऑफ दिस स्कीम. सो दिस इज वेरी कैची के भाई 14A में नंबर लेना. एंड अगर सपोज इफ आई टेकन नंबर, इफ आई वांट number after April 2026, then minimum 1 month is to be there. I have to compulsory stay 1 month, and after 1 month I can opt out of the scheme, and my date of would be the succeeding month. If I am applying on 15 July, officer is applying on by 31st July, then also from 1st August. अगर उसने 15 जुलाई को अप्लाई किया, 15 जुलाई को मैंने ऑप्ट आउट भी कर लिया, बट स्टिल आई विल बी आउट ऑफ द स्कीम फ्रॉम 1st August ओनली. And meanwhile, suppose if once I am out of my scheme of this, मेरे जितने भी previous के returns गए हुए हैं, I'll not able to edit it. I cannot add my turnover in that liability. So that is also the restriction.
25 लाख का मेरा टर्नओवर है अंदाजा, ठीक है. तो मैंने सर्विस किया वर्टिकल में, फिर वापस मैं नंबर अप्लाई करना चाहता हूँ. लेट्स से मैंने गुड्स का या कंपोजिट का कोई चालू कर
If you are apply under 14A, you cannot apply under same category in a different as an open category. It is mandatory के 14A में लिया है तो आपको वही follow करना है. That is also clear in the rules. हाँ, ये एक मिनट जतिन, सॉरी.
Sachin bhai, see I have one client. Basically, he's a holding company.
He's a
holding company. Okay, he has formed a subsidiary company. The premises of the holding company is also in a rented premises. So we are applying for the step down holding company from the same places, and we have taken the NOC from the landlord. Okay. Now while applying the same thing, so now the department is asking me for the consent. So the consent will be required from the landlord or from the holding company?
See, basically what will happen, consent will be always from the landlord.
So landlord has given me the NOC.
So that is enough. And what will happen, you have to submit by your this one agreement of your demerger or your this agreement is to be enclosed.
We have submitted that thing. Still the SOCOS notice says that we require the consent letter from the, and it's just written the consent letter, not anything else from which party or something.
Basically, if you are giving consent letter also from landlord is there, you can even give your consent from your holding company also. Na, that it is easy na. अरे दोनों का दे दे. हाँ. But see, if we are holding or है, see basically what happened कि this all limited company बोले कि जतिन भाई आपने नहीं किया, better give दोनों का consent दे दे और 5 दिन में नंबर आ जाएगा. Unnecessary if they reject it, the consent not submitted, then again it will be a challenge for you.
And then Sachin bhai, even the resolution from the holding company would also suffice.
I mean that only sir. Resolution is if you are applying for number, so resolution तो आएगा ना, you have to apply. The company में तो resolution आएगा ही आएगा. Yeah. Yes, Rao sir.
Hello. Can you hear me, sir? Am I audible?
Yes, audible, Rahul, sir.
Yeah. See, I've got a client who is running a bar and restaurant. It has been run from 1980s. Now it is on a Pagdi system, and it was run by the grandmother who has expired now. So the electricity bill is on her name, and now we are trying to take the GST number. We have got a VAT number, we have got an excise number, excise license, but we are not been able to get the GST number. They are asking for the proof from the landlord, and landlord is not giving any consent or anything. In such cases, what you are supposed to do? It's a
Sir,
Pagdi system.
a lighter sir, practical approach, you can meet the officer. And what happened now, sir? As per rule, you can give a submit an affidavit. Okay, by if that certificate is there. Okay, suppose if the grandmother is alive, then well and good. If it's that certificate, you can just attach a that certificate along with that application, and you can just have a any co-partner के भाई after जो legal hair से उसका एक ले सकते हो कि भाई हाँ ठीक है, this is the legal hair. In एक indemnity जैसे you can just make an indemnity and submit it along with the application.
We tried, sir.
Because
for
what
2 years.
happened now, sir? In Pagdi, see, technically in Pagdi, you are not the owner.
Yeah, we are not the owners, but the electricity bill was in our name. The electricity bill holder is no more. Now definitely the sons are going to take over and run the business. It's a hotel business, so it will be continued business. The GST, and we had gone in appeal also.
And
The
so
appeal is
I
on
think,
the-
Rao sir, I think according to me, you can just submit that certificate along with an indemnity of the all the legal hairs. That should suffice.
I think Sachin bhai, but to change the electricity bill is more easier.
No, but
No.
Pradeep bhai, again, electricity bill, he will ask the consent of the landlord.
Yes.
No,
Sir,
legal.
Sachin bhai,
If practically
it's a
there, then
window.
another
It's
guy.
a window.
Sachin bhai, for legal hair, no, if you want to put up, they're asking a copy of the will and to show that your name is there or not as a legal hair in that.
Sir,
No, but
basically
madam,
indemnity
see what you can do.
Indemnity
Indemnity
to-
No, the law in relation to Pagdi system or any lease property is that if you are a lessee somewhere, you cannot, matlab, you cannot bequeath it. Actually speaking, you cannot. अगर आप legal है, it is not automatic. That is why it is not automatic.
Yeah.
And even if it is there in the will, doesn't matter. So at best, what I feel in this case is, like you said, you give like a family arrangement, no? Give a family arrangement. Because ये सिर्फ बोलने का बात है. Because कोई Pagdi system, आप tenanted property cannot be bequeathed.
No, what about in other cases? Like if it's not a tenanted, if it's ownership,
Ownership.
and if it was in the name of father, and this client of mine, they gave this that certificate and all. He said, but has the property by his will, then only you can get it as a legal heir.
That is correct. That is correct.
If the property
That is
has not
correct.
been transferred in the society,
But that is absolutely
in the
correct.
society, then
Society, they have to get it transferred, no?
yeah, but that is not done. Then now what is the solution?
Agree. See, basically, madam, you make clear. If the person is deceased, then definitely all the legal heirs have equal rights on that property.
Correct.
So you need to have a consent or say indemnity from other
Consent,
members.
probate, anything. A family arrangement will suffice.
Yes.
NOC by all the legal heirs might also suffice. But what happens is several societies don't do
They have
it.
not yet
Basically,
done the transfer.
basically
That is-
society is altogether different. But at least for GST number, you can give the consent for the GST number. They would definitely have it.
Tenanted property. That is right.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, I'm not talking about tenant.
Such issues doesn't arise.
Yeah, but madam's issue is Monarch by
Not
own property,
property.
but the person is already deceased.
Yeah.
So, and there is no
Only
document.
son, only son. No, they do not. They don't.
What happened?
They don't do it.
No, that certificate is
They
there.
deny. No,
That certificate is there. Okay, that is okay. But there are two brothers, and one brother is obtaining applying for GST number. I need to have a consent of the second brother.
They also want the society consent. They also want that society consent letter.
In that, it will also mention that release date will be prepared soon and we will be submitting that. So that's their consideration.
Sir, notary affidavit. हाँ नहीं from all the brothers ना. हाँ. हाँ तो that
No, no, 100%, sir. That is, in fact, that is why it is an extremely gray area in an own premises. Because even see what happens, no, practically, if the society, if the committee is good, the secretary knows you, you've been staying there for a long time. It is possible on the basis of now. I'm for not coming to registration. I'm coming to the society first. There is a reason. If you just give an NOC और उसको एनओसी एफिडेविट जो बोलते हैं नो ऑब्जेक्शन सर्टिफिकेट नहीं नो ऑब्जेक्शन एफिडेविट और रिलीज डीड और वॉट एवर यू कॉल इट वो दे देते हैं सोसाइटी समटाइम्स ट्रांसफर नाउ व्हाट द डिपार्टमेंट्स कंसर्न इज वैलिड because if some father is dead there is actually if you look at it unless there is like a HUF agreement in most cases how do you know how many legal heirs do you have how do you know so that for that you have to either then go through the probate route. Yeah. Go through the probate route or succession certificate.
But sir, इसमें what is the practically ना?
साल लगता है.
Uncontested power.
Probate will take it
20 years. Madam, is there any more questions?
Yeah, one more. After filing Part A by one question. After filing Part A by Maharashtra dealer for voluntary GST application, in case of rental income, we found TRN details generated by Haryana Center Office by REG 12 of September 25 for penalty. For penalty head, the dealer has not yet received any communication till date. What is to be done now?
But he is applied for Maharashtra and he has received in show cause notice or what in?
You want to raise your hand and connect with that. In further details, Devanshi. Then we can. Yeah, you can talk now. Go ahead. Mr. Bhavesh Gosar, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, you're audible.
We were trying to apply it and fill up the Part A, and at the time of filling Part A, we seen the TRN details on the screen of Haryana State Department, and but dealer has not received any communication since last year from about this REG 12 TRN details. Then whether we can go ahead for Maharashtra application or is there any issue regarding REG 12?
No, I think Bharat, there should not be a problem. Okay, he might have created a temporary number in Haryana. That would be only a record purpose. Okay, he has applied for it. So there is no, that one, he has not been allotted number. You can definitely apply for Maharashtra. There is no bar for it.
But dealer has not applied anywhere in Haryana or any other place.
Sir, what happened? Bharat, sometimes what happened? Okay, suppose if I am applying when at the filing of Part A, even due to human error also, instead of selecting Part Maharashtra by default submitted say Haryana, there would be a clerical error might also been done.
But
we applied for it.
Sir, we have not applied any time in past, and this REG 12 is mentioned as penalty head, and the officer name is also mentioned, center officer, excise and department, but it was September 25 and no communication received till date, but his name, address, date of birth, everything is mentioned in that REG 12 TRN details.
But he's telling he's not registered only. So he,
not applied any time in past.
So here the one of the reason which Umang is telling कि sometimes अगर उसने e-way bill कभी बनाया रहेगा और e-way bill पे उसका PAN number link हुआ रहेगा in Haryana.
Okay.
हाँ.
So is there any first we have to clear that issue first, or we can apply in Maharashtra?
You can apply for Maharashtra. There should not be any problem, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So there are two questions basically relating which keep on coming in professional groups. One is, see, I am in Maharashtra. I have a factory in Gujarat which is given on rent. So do I need to obtain registration in Gujarat? Another question is, I have multiple places within Maharashtra, or say within Mumbai, so which I have given on rent. Whether I need registration or whether I need to add each of the places as the additional place of business. These two things from last 3-4 years I am
See,
experiencing.
for the first question, it is always means if you see Janak's opinion is telling answer is no. But if you ask me, means we on safer side we are taking the place GST number
Because
where
related
it is.
question is whether I can bill IGST for a rented premises in Gujarat, say outside Maharashtra.
But I think if you are see,
Because there are yeah. So
yes, you can raise because what
Right.
will happen? You have to see the provision rule of that 13K. If you are registered and if the who is that person who giving in rent is also registered, then definitely you can levy IGST.
50. This is fixed establishment. If there is a sufficient degree of permanence, one, and you are in a position to receive and give service, then it is a fixed establishment. तो आपको registration लेना पड़ेगा.
In Gujarat. Yeah, but only but Umang, it is only there is a place for which I have given on rent. There is no other.
We were giving service of providing the
Renting.
See, in a renting, where you are managing, that is important thing. It is not the place where you are. It is where you have a control. So you are controlling.
IGST can be that only if you are.
There is a view IGST कर सकते हैं, but safer side
on
to
safer side to take a number is advisable.
section fixed establishment को ध्यान में रख के करो जो लेना है.
हाँ, मतलब अभी प्रैक्टिकली अगर उस पे आए, अगर वहां पर आप रिनोवेशन कुछ करने वाले हैं, यू आर गोइंग टू इनकर एक्सपेंसेस फॉर व्हिच इट इज
क्रेडिट वेडिट सबके लिए अच्छा ही.
not going to capitalize, then you should take a registration over there and take a ITC. You can do it. My point is that.
अभी क्या है? It's like this: works contractor providing service at a fixed or a location located in across the state. तो वो IGST कर सकता है ना, ऐसा बात है.
Yes.
वो फर्क है.
Done. Thank you. Done. So I'll just quickly 2 minutes wrap up the thing. So I think the circular instruction number 3 is very clear. So this I've just prepared the list of instruction. What are the advisories been issued from 2023 to 2026? This is just an explanation ke bhai, when geocoding was brought into place, when 14A was brought into place, when ARN number other authentication was been made mandatory. So these are all the advisories. I'll just share the PPT which can be shared to all the members. So this is only important slide. Okay, after registration, what are the forms applicable for whom? Okay, what do you mean by REG1, REG2? People will say, "Bhai, mujhe REG3 hai." So now what is REG3? It is an clarification which is required at the time of application. So I've just given correlated. I've brought all the evidence in one place from REG1 to REG33. These are 33 forms which are there. Few are from the applicant side and few forms are from the departmental for passing an order and everything. So REG1 to REG33 covers all the registration forms. So this was the all from my side for the issues in registration. I once again thank Malat Chamber. This one, sorry. Malat Chamber also I want to thank because I want to thank Rinav. He has helped me to prepare this. I was coming to Malat Chamber President Rinav for helping me in presenting this PPT and GSTPAM for giving me this opportunity to share my views on the issues in GST. Thank you and thank you to Parth and office bearers. Thank you very much. बैठ जाओ मेरे को एक जरा क्लोजिंग कमेंट देने का है सचिन भाई बेसियो इतना जल्दी नहीं
Sachin bhai, there is a reason I took the mic here. And because I wanted to share an anecdote which we discussed with our current chairperson of LNR. When the current chairperson of LNR was the president in 2017, the registration issue started. Now he is the chairperson of LNR and I am the president. I was the LNR convener. I was the LNR convener at that point of time. So I hope that और भी आगे ना हो कि 7-8 years down the line some president considers me decent enough to be LNR convener, LNR chairperson, and then even then we are still having the registration issues. But thank you, Sachin bhai. Sachin bhai, I must tell you that this has been one of the most lively sessions that has been there. Thank you, Sachin bhai. Thank you, really.
Now, and for an official vote of thanks to Sachin Bhai. Just 2 lines for Sachin Bhai. जीएसटी की राह में आते हैं कई सवाल और परेशानियां. जीएसटी की राह में आते हैं कई सवाल और परेशानियां. ज्ञान की रोशनी से दूर होती है सारी कठिनाइयां. इस रोशनी को आपने दूर किया है and you have solved all the major queries online and even your live. So this live question answer session was really fruitful and one of the most interactive one. Thank you so much. On behalf of GSTPM, thank you for your in-depth knowledge and thank you for your valuable time. Now we rise for the national anthem. नायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाए तव जय गाता जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 जय. Thank you everyone.